Gentlemen, America has changed. When you look back through history, this has been predicted for years and years and years. And I think what's kind of sad is that our freedoms are being taken away. And this last election, it's still going on. But there's so much corruption inside our government today, and there's a definite push for Americans to go Marxist. And the problem is the average person has no idea who Marx was, and because they never studied it. I went to military school, academy in New York, and we studied military economics. And I don't know if you know this, but in school we teach Keynesian economics, John Maynard Keynes. Keynesian economics is socialist. If you understand that, so our school system is 100% socialist. So what Keynes says is that you can print money, basically. He didn't say it directly that way, but he said you could print money. And so look at your generation. There's been more money printed in the last 6 months than was printed in the last 200 years of America. So when I understand, when I talk to young people like you, and you got families and all this stuff, it's our money system is toxic. I mean, it's collapsing underneath of us. And of course, all the academic elite, you know, the PhDs who run the publishing houses and all this in New York, they attacked me. This was 25 years ago. They said, you don't know what you're talking about. How can you say your house is not an asset? How can you say the rich don't work for money? Because they're all idiots. They went to school. I went to military school. They went to traditional school. But it all begins, you know, like which you now know, is Keynesian economics as socialists. You can print as much money as you like to solve our problems. But I can tell you right now, we're going communist, Marxist. And you can tell by the economics we teach in our schools. That's how you know. So what does our school teach us about money? Nothing. Is that an accident? No. But most people don't even realize they're doing it through our monetary system, which goes back to 1971, you know, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and that's when we went to Keynesian economics. Now, I ask my friends around here, my age, they don't know there's been Keynesian or Austrian or military economics. They don't know the difference. So all I'm saying is our academic system was hijacked around the same time Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. So here comes your generation, and you're going, what's happening? No, this is not the America I know about. But then that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad in 1997, published it. And I got turned down. I mean, I was called a quack and a weirdo for saying your house is not an asset. You know, savers are losers, and we are. And the rich don't work for money. But you look at who was criticizing me were all the academics, you know, like the guys who run the Federal Reserve Bank, the guys who work for the government. You know, anybody who works for the government today is probably a criminal, because you have to be a criminal to work for the government, because you can't tell the truth. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't say this and keep my job. You couldn't say what you do and keep your job in the government, right? Am I correct? We're the threat. What we're doing now is the threat, because ABC, CNN, NBC, and all those, they can't stop us. Twitter can stop us, Facebook can stop us, Parler, you know, and all this stuff, but we'll always find a way around it. And so that's why you hear me talking to guys your age, and they say, well, what about Bitcoin? I said, get as much as you can get, because Bitcoin's outside the system. Gold is outside the system. Silver's outside the system. And the people that are stealing my generation's pension is the Fed, Wall Street, and the Treasury. And they're going to just suck that cash right out of our pensions. And then we'll be begging for AOC to save us. We want universal basic income. We're going to want MMT. We want the government to save us. That's communism. Step back in time, again, Marx in the 1800s and all this other stuff. What he said is communism would never take root in America because the American spirit is too strong. We're too entrepreneurial. So communism could not take root. So before communism could come in, we had to break the American spirit. We had to break the American spirit. And then they would beg for MMT, modern monetary theory, and UBI, and the check from the government, free education, free medical. It's everything Marx predicted. Most people are saving dollars. You know how stupid that is? You have got to be a idiot to save dollars. They're printing it faster than you can even think about it. They're going to print another 50 trillion or something like this. So I started when I was your age. I just started saving silver at 17, and I started saving gold. So today I'm a multimillionaire in silver and gold. But I also had income from my books, my games, and 7,000 rental units. So I have income, but not from a job. I have income from assets, the same as you did when you created your book. You created income from an asset, a tangible. I started in the nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business. I was in rock and roll and doing all this goofy stuff. But I was practicing building assets that produced income. Trump only derives income from in here. That's what they hate him. See, the Federal Reserve Bank, they got to get their salaries. Hillary Clinton and Obama and Biden, my friend works for the CIA, he says the biggest criminals he's ever seen. They have to make money the old-fashioned way. They steal it from the public. But anyway, if you can generate all your income from in here, you won't pay taxes. If you save gold, silver, and Bitcoin, you're a free man, free human being. They can't. You wanted to get rid of a job as fast as possible. And when you don't need a job and you can make money throughout the world, no matter where you go, and you can save gold, silver, and Bitcoin, and it's all my stuff offshore legally. You can do it illegally. I do it legally. So it was really a matter of looking at what the communist school system was teaching us. 1973, too, America had changed. Well, when you said I don't want a job, you make sense to me. But to do that, you're going to have to understand a financial statement, and you want all of your income coming from assets, not from a job. And you look at people with a job, your first line item expense is called taxes. But they don't teach you that in school. Well, let me give you the big picture, okay? My goal with my wife is to generate $100 million in cash flow. So all the communists get upset and all this stuff. But what they don't know is we plan to turn that money into another asset and give it all back. If you don't have a plan for your money, the government does. So my wife and I, our goal is to give $100 million a year to charity when we pass on. That's the big overall picture. So on these frickin' bastards, I just go, if you want to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and AOC and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, it's a free country. That's your choice. It was not my choice. Just respect my choice. I'll respect yours. So that's a long way of saying it, is that I have an overall plan. And I'm just going to give it all back. I don't need the money. It's just been a game, you know what I mean? It's like playing football or soccer or baseball. It's just a game. I like the game. You like the game. You won't quit. If I said I'm going to fire you, you say, well, you can't fire me because I'm only doing what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're on the path to becoming rich no matter what happens. So if they take it all away, I'll move to Zimbabwe. I can do the same thing out of Zimbabwe. Take my little cell phone. I've always wanted to, live in other parts of the world. I just go there. With my cell phone and my brain, I'm dangerous. They can't stop us anymore. The trouble with all my gold and silver, it's heavy. But when I started getting into Bitcoin, I was going, oh my God, it's a number in my head. It's outside the US system. That's what I loved about it. I said, oh my God,